morning. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Thank you. We're gonna do a lesson today, which is adding and subtracting fractions. Okay. Today we will learn how to add and subtract fractions with with like and unlike denominators. Okay. So we're gonna start. First of all, I would like to ask you this question: what do you know about fraction? What comes into you? Do you know the definition? What comes into your mind when you hear the word fraction?
Fraction, for me, fraction is just one part of a whole number. Let's say it's 3/8.
Okay.
The eighth is the whole amount of parts that the whole number has. And if we have 3/8, that's going to be a small portion of the whole number.
Okay, great example. So today we're going to start by, I have this sheet right here which is going to help us. It's called adding and subtracting fractions, okay? It gives an example of how to add fractions with like denominators, how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators, and subtract with like denominators and subtract with unlike denominators, okay? First I would like to start, if I write this fraction, because we're gonna, let me write one. The number at the top, we call it the numerator. The one at the bottom, the denominator. The first example I have, it's adding with like denominators, okay? With that one, you just have to, if the denominators are the same, you keep it, you just carry it over, and you just have to worry about adding or subtracting the numerator at the top, okay? So, for example, if I have this fraction, 1/4 plus 2/4, okay? The numerators are different. We don't worry about that. What we have to do carefully is add the denominator. If the denominators are the same, all we have to do is carry it over, and those will be a fourth, right? So we just have to add the numerator, which is 1 plus 3, plus 2 is equals to 3. And when we look at the fraction, 1/4 plus 2/4 gives us 3/4. Okay? So that's the example of how to add with like denominators. Now we're going to move on to adding with unlike denominators. This is where it gets a little more complicated. If I have 1/3 plus 3/5. If we look at the denominator, now we change. When it's different, we have to do for LCD, which stands for, do you know? Least common denominator, right?
Yeah.
How do we do that? We find the multiples, right? So we go 3, you can help me? What is 3? 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, that should be enough, right? Now we can keep looking. Now for 5, we go 5, 10,
15, 20,
okay? Do we see our list LCD, this common denominator is the 15, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have to turn the denominators into 15. So how do I get 3 into 15? We multiply 3 times 5 times 5, and what we do at the bottom, we do at the top, okay? 3 times 5 gives me 15. Am I right small because I don't have that much space? 15, and 1 times 5? 5, okay, plus 5 times what gives me 15? 3. So 5 times 3, 15. And 3
times 3 plus
9, right? So now we have the denominators the same. 5 15s plus 9 15 gives me
14
15s, and that's my fraction. 1/3. I find the LCD, which is common denominator, gives me the new fraction. 1/3 is equals to 5 15s, and 3/5 is equals to 9 15s. We just carry the denominator. 5 plus 9 gives me 14. Yes.
Can you simplify that?
We can simplify if we find. Can you find a number that you can divide 15 and 14 the same number?
Not really.
Not really, right? But there's fractions that you can simplify. That's a good question. Okay, let me find one example. Okay? Let's see one example that we can simplify. There you go. Okay? So if I have 5/10 plus 2/5, have to find the LCD, right?
Mhm.
And this one is super easy because we know 5 times
2
2 gives me
us
10, right?
10, and
So the least common
4.
denominator will be 10. So the new question would be 5/10 plus, we multiply 5 times 2
10,
10,
4
that's-
tenths.
and 4/10. Now when we add them, the denominator we carried on, which is 10. 5 plus 9,
5 plus 4 equals 9.
9. Okay. And it's 9/10, right?
Yeah.
But now we're gonna go one that we can
Simplify.
simplify. Cause we can simplify. That's a good question you had. So let's go again. 5/10 plus 3/10. Let's make it simple, okay? We know they have the same denominator. It's 10. 5 plus 3,
Equals 8.
8. So now you see we have the fraction 8/10. How can we simplify this?
Oh, we can divide 10 divided by 2, which is going to be 5, and then 8 divided by 2, which is going to be 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be 4/5.
Okay, so let's see if we can divide it by 2. Remember what we do at the top, we do at the bottom. Okay, so 8 divided by 2,
4,
4. And 10 divided by 2.
5.
So 8/10, if we simplify, the fraction will be 4/5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now let's go to subtraction. First, we're going to start with an example of subtraction that has like denominators, okay? My first fraction is 5/6 minus 3/6. The same as addition. If the denominators are the same, we just carried it on and we subtract the numerator, which would be 5 minus 3
It's going to
is
be 2.
2, right?
Mhm.
And here you go. Our fraction is 2/6. Can we simplify this fraction?
Yes, divided by 2.
Divided by 2, divided by 2.
It's going to be 1
2 divided by 2, 1. And
third.
6 divided by 2,
3. 1/3.
1/3, right? 2/6 is equal to 1/3 when we simplify. Good. Now we're going to go to another example, which is subtracting with unlike denominators. I have my first fraction, 5/8 minus 1/4. If we can see the denominator is unlike, right? We have to
Mhm.
find the LCD, and we know 8. 4 times one number gives me 8.
2.
Times 2 times 2 times 2. So our new equation will be 5/8 minus 2 times 1,
2.
2, 4 times 2,
8.
8. So the denominator we carried on, which will be 8. Same.
It's going to be
5 minus 2,
3.
3, right? And your 5/8 minus 2/8 will be equals to 3/8. Good. Do you have any questions so far?
No, not really.
Okay, now we're gonna play a game with domino cards. Okay? I'm gonna have this domino cards. I give them to you. You're gonna find the fraction. Looks like a fraction. The one at the top, the number at the top, what would it be?
A numerator,
And the one at the bottom?
a denominator.
Denominator, right? So we're gonna add and subtract. Okay, the first one is gonna be addition. You're gonna find the cards. You're gonna place them on this sheet so it can help you. You're gonna place the first fraction this side, the other one the other side, and find the answer. Okay, we're gonna do this together. So here you go. You pick your first 2 cards.
Okay.
Pen so you can write. You can write on the sheet
Mhm.
and erase as you need. Okay. So the first fraction, you're gonna write down the fraction. Okay, and the space provided. What fraction is this? The one you choose?
2/4.
2/4. Okay, can you write it down for me? Good. And it will be plus 2/4 plus what?
1/4.
Plus 1/4. Now, first thing we did, right, we got the denominator. Are they like or alike?
There are like.
They're alike, right? So now what should we do?
You just pass it on.
You pass it on
Just to 4.
to 4, okay? And we add the numerators, which would be 2 plus 1,
Plus 1 equals 3.
3. Okay, and we see 2/4 plus 1/4 gives us 3/4. Good job. Now we're gonna move on to the next one. If you could raise that for me, let's go. There you go. You're gonna pick your 2 new cards. Okay. Okay, the first one, we're gonna add again, okay?
Okay.
So your first fraction is
1/3.
1/3 plus
3/5.
3/5. Do you notice something different in these fractions?
And then we have unlike denominator.
Denominator. So what's our first step to do?
Find the LCD. The
Find the
least common
LCD.
denominator.
Okay, let's find the LCD. For
So
3 and 5.
3 times 5, so this is a 3. 6, 9, 12, 15,
Mm-hmm.
18, and 5, 10, 15, 20. So we have 15, which is our LCD.
15 is LCD. Good job.
So now that we have the LCD, 3
What will be in the
times
fraction?
5,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be 15 times
It's right down on
5.
the side. Right here.
That's going to be a new fraction. It's going to be 5/15, and then the other new fraction is going to be times 3 is going to be 15, and then times 3 is going to be 9.
Uh-huh.
So when we add
Great.
that, now we have the least common denominator is going to be 9 plus 5.
9 plus 5.
14, 15.
14, 15. So the LCD was 15, right?
Yes.
Man, we had to find the LCD, this common denominator. Remember, adding unlike denominators. Good job. Now, you can erase that for me, please. Thank you. We're going to move into subtraction, okay? Good. Okay, choose your next 2 cards. We're going to do subtraction now. Let's use this sheet over here for subtraction. We're going to switch it around. And the cards you pick are your first
Five.
fraction,
5, 6.
5, 6. Okay,
And then-
let's write it down.
5, 6.
Plus, I mean
4,
minus
6.
4,
Minus
6.
4, 6.
Minus 4, 6, right? Are these like or like
We have like the denominator.
denominators, okay? So what will be the first step?
We pass the 6 over
That's the
to-
6, which is the denominator.
And then we subtract 5 minus 4.
We subtract the
1, 6.
1, 6. So 5, 6 minus 4, 6
Is 1, 6.
equals to 1, 6. Good job. Now we're going to move to an like denominator subtraction, okay?
Mhm.
Let's erase the problem. Okay, so here goes our fractions. Our first fraction will be
1/2.
1/2. a half, okay? Let's write it down.
Alright.
Minus
1/4.
1/4. Is this like or unlike denominator?
Unlike the number.
Unlike, so we have to find the LCD, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's find the LCD.
The multiple for 2 are 2,
Two.
4, 6, 8. Stop there. The
Okay.
multiple for 4 is 4, 8. So we have our LCD, which is 4.
Oh, LCD is 4, okay.
So we pass it down.
Mhm.
It's
Our new fractions are going to be?
the 2 times 1 to get 4 is going to be 2. What we do on top is 1 times 2 is going to be 2/4.
2/4 is our new fraction.
And then we usually just leave the 4 how it is.
The 4 we leave it? Okay,
And
so
then
2/4 is equal to 1 to 1/2, right? It's
Yeah,
equivalent.
2
Okay.
fourths is equal to 1/2, so
Mhm.
we're just gonna leave 1 and 4. It's gonna be the same.
Okay.
So now we subtract that. Well, we only pass the 4. We don't subtract the denominator. Then we
Denominator is
just
the
subtract the
same.
numerator. 2 minus 1 is gonna be 2. No,
Okay.
2.
2
No,
minus 2
1.
minus 1.
It's gonna be 1.
Okay. So 1/2 is equal to 2 fourths, right? And when we subtract 2 fourths minus 1 fourth gives
So
us
it's
1 fourth. Good job. Now can you please erase this for me?